Gabler.
Yes, Mike on Mike right now. We're talking about Mike Gabler. He is a 52-year-old heart valve specialist, initially from Texas, currently lives in Meridian, Idaho.
Okay. All right. We heard a little bit about Mike when we did our preview of the entire cast, but anything else you want to set up before we hear from Gabler himself?
Yeah, I mean, Gabler's really going to tout this a lot, so I won't put words in his mouth, but essentially, this is not your average look-in operation room tech, right? This is a guy who's decked out with tattoos, has a big beard, bald head, someone you might find, with the Sons of Anarchy. But much like that
Right
show,
for this world.
yeah, it's all about family for him. He has a
Mhm.
very surprisingly soft heart, especially when it comes to his daughters.
Does he ride a motorcycle?
He looks like he has to have at least ridden one, right? He has
Hmm.
BME, big motorcycle energy.
Big motorcycle. Okay. All right. Let's hear from Gabler.
Why are you here on Survivor?
Life is short, life is now, and you got to live it. And, I'm the best version of me that there's ever been right here, right now. And I look to get better. And I know that, this is going to test me in every way imaginable. And I really am a little bit anxious, but also very excited to see what reveals myself to myself.
What's your history with watching Survivor?
I've been watching Survivor. My wife and I have been watching Survivor since before we had even any kids. So from the beginning. And then it's become a family show that we watch every week. We make a nice dinner. We put some treats in the dog bowl so he doesn't bother us during the show. And then we're one of those families that watches with the pause button. So when something big is about to happen or drop, we'll hit pause. We kind of cue the room. And I ask my two daughters what they think, my wife, and we all kind of make it our best guess, and then we hit play. So it takes us about 2 hours to watch on Survivor night, but it's a special night for us, and we love the show.
Gabler.
Grace.
Sorry, Grace. Sorry.
Maybe we
Sorry.
should make it Gabler.
Sorry. Well, it's another G word. Yeah.
Yeah.
Boy.
And we'll
Boy,
see.
my
And we'll
wife
see
would
if Gabe.
hate this. Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah, this sounds like. I'm glad the Gabler family is into this because if you were invited over to watch Survivor Night, this sounds like the most frustrating.
See, I would like this. I mean, this is why I had to start a podcast because I used to do this, and not necessarily always during Survivor, but during shows. And my wife would be like, "What are you doing? Stop it!"
Yeah, it happens a little bit with my wife as well, especially doing the scripted stuff with post-show recaps. Though for me, it's less so about the pausing and more so about like the clickety-clack of typing. So I'm glad that Gabler's not doing that and more so doing the John Madden of like, all right, let's look right here and we see what Hai and Daniel are doing. They're on their coffee chat. Let's pull the room here. What should they have done?
Mm-hmm. Okay. I also like that the dog gets treats for Survivor night.
Yeah, just to like get the dog out of the way, but the dog must be thrilled for Wednesday night as well.
Yes, dog loves Wednesdays. Okay. Should they advertise that more? It's your pet's favorite night of the week, Survivor night.
Well, yeah, don't you remember those commercials? I think it was going into, was it going in? Yeah, it was going into 42 because I remember it being at the end of the NFL season, right? Like the people who had the dog, was the dog, the dog was
I think
named
it was
Rupert,
a cat, right? Oh, the dog was named Rupert? Yeah, that Boston, I'm sorry, Buffalo Eric.
Yeah, I think it was Buffalo Eric, and I think
his daughter Sari.
His daughter was named Sari, and I think his cat or dog was named Rupert. So maybe Gabler's just that character brought to life.
Okay, let's go back. So glad we brought Buffalo Eric back. Okay.
It's really is here.
Go back to Gabler.
Give me one Survivor winner and one non-winner who you identify with the most.
Wow. That's really a great question. I've got a lot of fan favorites because I'm a huge fan of a bunch of the different winners. I'm trying to play a game based on a few of them. So, I really like, a winner would be Jeremy. I really like how he played, his intensity. I loved Big Ben from my home state, Idaho. I love how he played. I also loved Rupert. Rupert didn't win, of course, but his heart and his enthusiasm and his fight was extraordinary, and he was inspiring. He was too good for his own good. And there's been a lot of people that they've either, they don't have to win to inspire you on the show. Cause like Jeff always says, you just never quit in Survivor because you just never know what's going to happen next. And I think that's, the people that play the hardest and with the most intensity are the ones that usually resonate the most with me and my family, at least.
What's your favorite moment in?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you look at Gabler and you're like, there's a 75% chance that you love Rupert just based on the way that you look. Not to go too much off of first impressions, but maybe it's the beard. Maybe it's this older male, soft-hearted father mentality, but this does feel like maybe the Minefield era Rupert.
He threw me off when he talked about Big Ben. I was like, I've never heard Ben Driebergen get that nickname. Usually reserved for Ben Roethlisberger.
Yeah, I was going to say, and luckily I think Ben has been more of a squeaky clean background check than Big Ben. I mean, listen, Ben was pretty banged up by the end of Winners at War. We know that's what happened with Ben Roethlisberger as well.
Yeah, both of them, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see. Will Gabler end up throwing in the terrible towel, much like Ben did at the end of his season?
Okay. Let's go back to Gabler.
What's your favorite moment in Survivor history?
Gosh.
It's very Rupert-esque.
Yeah.
So, a favorite moment for me, I like it whenever, there's almost like when you get a stronger group of people that think they have the upper hand, and then somehow it gets flipped on them abruptly. And I can think of, I'll just bring up Survivor Africa, for example, where Randy, he was kind of the lovable curmudgeon villain, if you will, was tricked by Bob and given a fake immunity idol, but he thought it was real. And then he played it. And of course, the rest of the tribe knew it wasn't. And it was kind of like it's just nice. It's just like a justice is done. He got what was coming to him kind of a moment. Those are fun. But also, though, whenever you see somebody like really battle it out and win an immunity challenge when they have to, and it's usually somebody that you wouldn't think could win, and that's really amazing when you just see how deep they dig and how much they bring of themselves, and they didn't even know it was in there, but they found it and they unlocked it at the right time. I think that is incredible.
Grace, yeah. So I think we know Randy's least favorite contestant in the new season.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, Randy does not like being called lovable, even if it is followed by kind of curmudgeon. And I know that might like dull the blow a bit, but I think he purposely is like, listen, they put me on the villains tribe for a reason. I know I burned the buff, but like, don't call me lovable at all.
Yeah. Also, that he really flipped it around when he talked about Survivor Africa. Now, Gabon was in Africa, but
listen, I can understand it. There's a little bit of a mix of there, but listen, there were also big power shifts in Survivor Africa, right? To your point, when he mentioned that, I thought it was gonna be a hot second for a throwback of like, remember the mall rats? They were the ones that ended up getting a temporary victory, but then Silas ended up getting voted out.
Got flipped around. Okay, all right, back to Gabler.
What's one life experience you feel has prepared you most for the game?
Oh boy, one life experience. I'm 51 years old and I've had a lot of life in my life. And, it could be something for my career. I play a role on a heart team working with top surgeons and top cardiologists. I'm a clinical specialist myself, but we're in a very diverse team of people, a very multicultural group of people, but we all have one focus, and that is to take care of the patient. And it's in high pressure situations sometimes. And, to be able to communicate and work effectively and get good outcomes for patients with that team, I think that's probably going to really help me out here when it starts getting really dicey.
What do you think people will perceive you as?
That's a good question. First impressions, you look at me, I'm a pretty, I guess, severe looking guy. I'm a kind of a larger mammal, and I've got a beard, got a shaved head, I've got a variety of tattoos, and so you don't know what the first impression might be, but I'm a very genuine person, and I think time is on my side. The longer I can stay in the game, the better it will be, because I really do care deeply about people. That comes from my work dealing with patients, and I think if I can connect with people and then connect with me, that'll grow my power in the game and advance me. And the deeper I get, the more powerful I will become.
Grace.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, Gabler's a little weird.
A little weird. How big of a mammal are you, Mike?
I don't know. Probably like a gibbon or some sort of primate. I'm trying to think of like how. I mean, listen, the largest mammal is the whale. I don't
Yeah.
think I'm necessarily comparing myself to the whale. I'm not. I think Gabler maybe is thinking of himself more so, I guess, like a gorilla, maybe.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking about other larger
Okay.
mammals, and they're all aquatic.
But I feel like that the profile is starting to come into focus for me a little bit. Gabler talks about how, he's part of a team. I really get the sense that like a lot of like deception and subterfuge is not going to be part of his game. I think he kind of like is talking about making bonds. Even the players that he really likes are Rupert, Jeremy, somebody who's like known as a straight shooter. Well, not if you play fantasy football with him. Okay. Let me just tell you that right now. You wouldn't think he's America's hero if you did that.
Wow. I mean, listen, we all have our different environments in which we're deceptive. I couldn't agree more. And I'm looking at Gabler's, 1-minute video where he says that everyone wants to be, stabbed in the front by a friend, and he wants to be that good friend that will take everyone out one by one with a smile. And so, yeah, I think your point is very valid. That I think Gabler himself, it's not that I don't think he's capable of stabbing people in the back. I don't think he wants to do that, and that could be very tough.
Yeah, I mean, and he seems like, a very like an honorable person and a person who like I don't think like takes any joy in being sneaky. And I think that he is very much into like, establishing trust with people and keeping that trust.
Right. Remember, the two moments that he talked about from Survivor that he loves, one is just the generic idea of like the underdog winning a challenge. And the other one is, when quote unquote bad guy Randy got tricked by good guy Bob. And so I think he is very much into, as Jonathan Penner would much say, who are the bad guys? Who are the good
bad guys? Yeah.
So I think that honorific persona may be fine for the internal narrative of the show. I think it may make it tough for him to make decisions or be outright dishonest to people, which is a portion of the game that is fairly sizable.
Okay. All right. Let's go back to Gabler.
What type of player are you looking for in an alliance?
So if I'm looking for, as an alliance member, what do I look for? I look for somebody that's got heart. I look for somebody that is out there for a variety of reasons that aren't just the purse at the end or the title, but they want to go deep into themselves and they want to get far in this game to prove to themselves and everybody else in the world that they can do it. So I think, that kind of a genuine competitor is somebody that I'd like to align with to get deep into the game.
What's the one thing you told yourself you wouldn't do in this game?
Cry on the first day, but that's already blown. I've got 2 teenage daughters. I love them so much, and they're on the other side of the world right now. And my oldest daughter, her prom is in 2 weeks, and one of the producers was asking me about her, and I'm gonna miss it. And unfortunately, because unfortunately, because of my career, I've missed a lot of things as my children were growing up. And she's both my daughters are the world to me, but they understand and they're supportive, and love transcends time and space, and I feel them with me here just like they feel me with them now, I'm sure. And of course I'm getting emotional just talking about this now. One of the coolest things about making this happen, getting off the couch and coming in and competing in the show is, I always tell my family and my friends, don't wait for life, do it. You've got to be an active participant in your own life. And, don't wait, just do it. And, this being on the show, making it onto the show, I was able to show, not just tell my girls what they can do. Like I made an audition video, sent it in, and holy cow, they called me, and now I'm here. And, I think that was, their eyes got pretty wide when I got the call to come on the show. And I hope that broadens their horizons, because, it makes them think even bigger of the world, and they get to live life even bigger because of that.
How eager will you be to look for advantages in the game?
Oh my gosh, that will go. I mean, that's like graduating college. That's like a boxing trophy. That's like something massive. I mean, if I can find an advantage, win an idol, I mean, that's going to blow my mind. I mean, you will probably hear me from wherever you are without a microphone, because I will probably be howling that loud at the sky if I find one of those things and I'm able to harness that power. Yeah, it's a big deal. I really do want to. I mean, any way I can change the game and sway it in a powerful way, heck yeah.
Told you it was a weird one. Weird one, but a
Yeah.
good one.
That's like graduating college. That's like a boxing trophy.
It's like a boxing trophy, but you don't know how to box.
Yeah. Okay. All right. There's Gabler. I think he's going to be a lot of fun. He's going to be a big character.
Yeah, and I like Gabler, again, calling back to the new school Rupert stuff, right? He will bellow to the sky, much like Rupert did when he found the spear right into ocean.
Yeah. Okay.
So I want to connect some people here in Baka, because I'm already seeing something, Rob. I think we're going to see a little bit of like daddy-daughter in Mike and Janine. Because
that's interesting. Yeah.
Janine is the youngest girl on the tribe.
How old is Janine?
24. And she also is younger looking, which might make her, again, comparable to like his teenage daughters, one of whom is getting ready for senior prom. Janine has a very important relationship with her father, mentions him a lot, both in that interview, in her video bio as well. And I think they're both like very family oriented at heart. And so I could actually see them making, this is going to be a very odd comparison, but the optics are there, Rob. Donnie and Pow Pow from Big Brother 16. I could see a similarly close relationship between the two of them.
Did Donnie and Pow Pow have a close relationship on BB 16?
Yeah, don't you remember when Donnie was giving
I have to say, I do not. I'm going to stop you right there. Stop you right there.
Well, because I remember it because when Donnie was giving his goodbye message of like, Pow Pow, I'm always going to miss our chats together. And like, she is weeping profusely. Yeah. Like, this is a man she
barely remember Pow Pow as a person, Mike. So,
not even Kaltoru?
It's ringing a bell somehow, but I'll take your word for it.
Yeah. So Gabler, I think, despite him really marketing himself as like, I'm not just the way I look, I'm a larger mammal, but I've got other things that are behind me. I think we can kind of pigeonhole, at least in this moment, what role he'll play. I think he is going to be like our older male camp workhorse. When he talks about his favorite hobbies, he says camping, hunting, fishing, skiing. It seems like he does have a lot of experience in the outdoors. And so I would imagine that, like, much like Rupert, again, he's going to be that guy that's like, I just want to keep the tribe unity. I want to keep the tribe heart, for lack of a better term, pumping. Keep it strong. And so I want to, like, do the best that I can and keep the morale high. And so unfortunately, I think that might come at the cost of perhaps him getting involved in some of the more strategic maneuverings. Like, I could see him get brought in on votes. I don't really see him making votes happen.
Yeah, I think that he is more of like a loyal soldier to somebody else who is more calling the shots strategically.
So we got to talk about a couple things from his bio, Rob. Pet peeves, unfairness, and men in skinny jeans.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, does he have to wear the skinny jeans? Does he?
No.
He doesn't like when other people wear them.
Now, to be fair, if I'm looking at this photo right here, I don't know if these are like, if this is like spandex, but this is like pretty skinny to me, the pants that he's wearing. So like,
but they're not jeans.
Listen, dude. Now, what I will say though, is I don't want to put words in Gabler's mouth. If I could come up with a rationale on his behalf, look, this guy's a heart valve specialist. He deals with circulatory problems all the time. Could it be more so a health issue of guys are wearing pants that are too tight, cutting off circulation to their lower limbs? As a result, we get some DVT going on.
Heart's got to pump too hard for that.
Yeah, exactly. So like, I'm doing you a favor, gentlemen, by putting on the looser fitting pants. But I have to mention the highlight, I think, of the bios from all 18 contestants. Why do you believe you can be the sole survivor? Yes! That's his response. Short and sweet.
Yeah, why not?
I mean, I suppose so. Not really an answer to the question,
Yeah.
but
Maybe
perhaps
he read it as, do you think you could be the sole survivor?
yeah, but like why would he assume that was the question? Wouldn't the answer be yes for everybody? I don't think anyone's going into like the reason why they can't. Nobody's going on to the show being like, I think I'll be like fourth out. I don't
Hmm.
know. I think I'll make a sizable. I'll be gift a few times on Twitter, but that's probably it. No, everyone gets brought on because they believe, at least on the outset, they can win the game. So I just love the fact that Gabler is using this one word, yes, and maybe that's a larger microcosm for how he'll play the game. He'll say yes to everything, but not necessarily be the one to look deeper into the meaning behind the questions. Read everything at face value and possibly misinterpret it thusly.
Okay.